most of the studies, they agree to the fact that this residential combustion is the most important source, not just for household air pollution, but even there is a significant contribution to ambient air pollution. These millions of households, they continue using different solid biomass like wood, coal, and many other things, cow dung, not just creating pollutions for their homes, but the smoke then comes out and pollute the outdoor air.
There are a lot of relatively poor folks who rely on solid cooking fuels like wood, grass, dung, charcoal, and crop residues.
Most of has to do with socio-economic status. These biomass are available free, so they don't want to pay. Some of those who can afford in the rural areas.
If one sector has to be identified and prioritized to win the battle against air pollution, in my opinion, it is the residential biomass sector. And because people who are using it, they are very close to the source. In terms of exposure, this would provide the largest health benefit.
And it does seem like with the right financial incentives and policy incentives, this is a solvable problem. Part of the problem has been that we, for many years, maybe 4 decades or so, focused on sort of fiddly engineered solutions, and that might be a chimney stove or it might be a more advanced combustion stove. Whereas gas and electricity we know work for everyone. There's been some progress in India towards moving people toward having access to these fuels, and now the next challenge is getting them transitioned to exclusive use of them, not just having them sit in their kitchen for an occasional heating of water for tea or something. It's really going to be the only way we can get folks to reduce their exposure to household air pollutants. There's been some modeling done that shows that if you gave everyone in the world cooking over biomass a liquefied petroleum gas or gasoline, you'd have a negligible impact on the climate, maybe even no negative impact on the climate. Condemning folks to use traditional fuels is not should not be done in the name of the climate. There are plenty of other folks who need to cut their carbon emissions globally to provide that sort of comfortable level of energy access for the poor globally.
So affordability and availability are the two key issues. If we can somehow come up with a sustainable economic solution, I think both the household as well as ambient air will get tremendous benefit. And many times when, as an expert, I talk to people at community level trying to understand how things can be implemented properly. I realize that two things. One is that many people are not even aware about this tremendous impact of air pollution on multiple health aspects. And number two is that even if they know, there is a sense of, I would say, helplessness, and they do not really know that how they can contribute on their own individual level.
I think the medical curriculum, they need to teach that when they're doing the MBBS or even the other health sector, if they are aware of the problem, first thing they will take into practice themselves, and then they will also try to convince their patient as well that this is bad and they need to be taught. For example, stop burning waste at your homes. The health community, they need to take it seriously. Everyone should come up, the policymakers, the medical community, the scientists, and the advocacy group, the community. I think community should play a major role as well to understand the problem, the magnitude of the problem. They need to implement at home for their sake, for their children's sake.